Okay, in the previous video we talked about how to install your first SAMP server and how to manage through the files. But of course we have noticed that the SAMP server is very bare bones, there's basically nothing in it. And now comes the question, how do you script in SAMP so we can add more elements to actually make some gameplay? Well, this is the first episode where we are going to do some scripting. It will not be too much. I'm just gonna show how a Gamemode works. Later on we're gonna learn how a filter script works. It's okay if you don't know these terms, I am going to explain them. But I'm not going to do too much, because I will later on talk about more commands, more things that you will have to learn with porno scripting. But there is a but. Before we start scripting, I would really not recommend to just start scripting even if you have no knowledge of any sort of scripting language. If you already did scripting languages like Unity, Godot, Unreal Engine, Roblox, then it's okay. You're going to get the basics of the porno scripting really easy. It will not be such a problem. But if you never scripted in your life, I would suggest to first learn C++, because the porno language is based off C++, and it will kind of help you start with the basics of porno scripting and C++ scripting. But you will also see that it will be a lot easier to do porno scripting after you have learned a bit of C++, because C++ is hard on its own and porno makes it a lot easier. So I would suggest to go to a website called c++.com. In the website there are a few chapters, and you can just do chapter 1, I think also a little bit of chapter 2, and that will be just enough to understand most of what I'm talking about in my scripting videos. But for now, I'm going to do a little bit of hand holding. I will help you, I will aid you through the scripting process. In later videos, I would just assume that you know what I'm talking about and that you know what you are doing. Okay, now we can start with our first bit of scripting. We're gonna go to our server folder from last time, and we're gonna go to porno. In the porno folder, you will find the porno.exe file. After that, we're gonna open up the folder picture, and you're gonna see it says open, and automatically this pop-up will go to your Gamemode folder of your server, and there you will find the Gamemode that we have created last time. We're gonna open that, and now we're gonna talk about almost everything that you will see here. Now it looks like this is too much, I do not understand this. Don't worry, we're gonna explain everything. First, here it says include a SAMP. This is important in every single script you make, because without this include, the computer and the compiler and just porno itself, it will not understand any of this code. And then we have this is all just for a filter script, but we're in a game mode. So we're gonna delete this, and we're also gonna delete this, otherwise we're gonna get an error. First we have the main. If you have already done a bit of C++, you're gonna see that, you're gonna know that main is just the main loop of your script. When you start your server, normally, when you start it, this is your main. Everything that you type in your main will start first, and here we have these prints, and as you see, it already started this. And then we have this on Gamemode init. This means when the Gamemode is initialized, when the Gamemode has started, that's often when you have connected to your server. then it's gonna do all of this. We're gonna talk about this later in the next episode actually. And then we have all of these things here, like on player request class, on player connect, on player disconnect. If you read the titles, you're probably gonna understand what this is trying to say. This is a function that will always check if a player has connected, and if a player has connected, it's gonna do anything that's inside of this function. And then you see there are a lot of these functions. Every single function has does something different, or has to be started in a different way by doing something. So here first, for instance, it says on player enter checkpoint, so that means this will start when a player has entered a checkpoint, or at least our player that we are playing in the server. Now we're gonna do our first line of script. So what we're going to do is, when the player connects to the server, it's going to send a message to him through the game chat. If you have played SAMP for a while, you will know that in every SAMP server there is a chat. If you press T in the game, the chat will open, and that is where all the messages get sent. Now we're going to use a script to send us a message. So we're going to go here to public on player connect. In the next episode I'm going to talk about these publics and what they actually are and how they work. So we're going to go here and we're going to type this command: send client message. So it's going to send a message, and the client is actually our player, that is us, that is who we are. And then we're going to type in player ID, and then we're gonna type -1, because -1 in every script in SAMP, -1 means white, so -1 is the number for a white color. And then we're gonna type just like this any sort of sentence that you want. So we're gonna type in you are connected to the server. This, then you saw we have open bracket, we have opened these brackets. I think they're called brackets, I'm not sure. And we're gonna close them, and never forget, when you do something like this, people always forget this icon. You have to put this icon after you type something like this. If you look, for instance, at set player pause, that means set player position, you see this also ends with this icon. So we have made this, and now it should work perfectly. So we're gonna save it. You can click here on this button here for save, or you can type Ctrl S on your keyboard and it's gonna save just like that. But that's not enough, because I already said in the previous video, GTA San Andreas cannot read pawn files. It's not possible. We have to make an AMX file, and that's why we have the compiler. That is this button right here. This compiler will turn the pawn file into an AMX file. So we're gonna click on that. And normally you should just get this title, pawn compiler, and then copyright. This is just some information. And if you get this, then that means that the compiler has finished his job, everything is okay. And you can also see here it says server.pawn has been compiled to server.amx. So that's alright. And then I'm just gonna go back to when I said about this icon. Look what happens when we forget to add this icon. So let's say we're gonna save it like this, and we're gonna try to compile it. Boom, one error. Server.pawn 38, this means the line 38. So you're gonna look at the left side, you're gonna see all of these lines. And then we're gonna go to line 38, and then it says error 001. So this is the first error and the most common error people make. And the information says expected token, this icon, but it found return. And if we look, enter script, you're gonna see, oh, the icon is not here. So the computer must think that that we're using return to end this command. But that's not how we script. This is just gonna give an error. So we're gonna add the same icon again. We're gonna save, compile, and no errors. Now we have to test out our script. We don't know if it's gonna work or not. Oh, sorry. So now we're gonna go to server, samp server.exe. We're gonna start it. Everything seems to be okay. There are no errors. Now we're gonna open up our samp server. SAMP server list, and then normally you should get your server here or anywhere basically. Then we're gonna click on it, double click, and then connect. Now we're gonna just wait a bit until it connects. Okay, we have connected, and boom! As you saw, when the SAMP server realized we have joined, it said connected, joining the game, and automatically it sent us the same message that we have typed in our script. You are connected to the server. But still, of course, you know, there's no gameplay, we can't really do anything. We are still with the same CJ, the same map, same position, everything is still the same. And of course this didn't really do a lot, but we're gonna learn to do a lot more commands, a lot more techniques that we will use to make some amazing gameplay. I already have an idea of a project that we're gonna make with all of the information that we're gonna learn in the series. So as I said, this is not gonna be too much. This is everything we're gonna do for now. This is just to kind of feel how it looks to script in SAMP, but of course this is nowhere close to what we're going to do in the future. But for now, this is everything you're gonna learn for now. If you want, try doing some other commands, try copying this, put it in another public, but do it at your own risk. But because I'm not responsible for any faulty things that you do in your script, but if you do need help, you can always send a comment. I will try to help you. Otherwise, you can just make a new script and start from scratch by watching my video. So that was it. I hope you learned something new, and in the next video we're gonna be going a little bit more in depth about all of these publics, the includes, these commands. They're not even called commands. I just gave it that name. Set game mode text. What is that? We don't know. I know, but you don't know. But I will explain a lot of things. So I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a like. Subscribing will also be good, and leaving some feedback or any type of reaction to my videos is always appreciated. Bye bye.